Good afternoon, you beautiful people.
How's it?
As you can see, I'm here with Grant. There's a wild Lissa there in the back.
Yeah.
And a wifey there. Wifey! And let me show you, there's a Johannes. Say hi, Johannes.
Hello.
So Johannes is on his way home. Grant, so you'll be taking us on a little bit of a tour.
Come down now.
Thanks, man.
Lissa.
I thought I'll start recording as we get out of the car so people have the same experience as we have exploring our property.
Great having you guys here.
Thanks, man.
Wonderful. We normally get a lot of people, so the tour takes about an hour. We can make it 3 hours if we want to.
Yeah.
But let's get through.
Lekker, let's run through it.
Okay. So we here in the Moon Valley landscape. We are sitting on 10 hectares of property.
Nice.
Mainly hard rock, or half of the property is hard rock.
Okay.
It runs up to the green palm trees on the side there.
Okay. Let me just zoom there a little bit. Inzoomen.
Ja, so 'n bietjie inzoom.
Out there, okay.
Yeah, so palm trees. So that side of the property is solid bedrock. And then it runs up to the main road at the top.
Okay, there where the electrical poles are.
The electrical poles are basically.
Okay.
And then I'll show you the rest of the property down
on that side.
Back, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, but we normally start our tour. Soil is critical for us.
So when you say you normally start your tour, do you get quite a lot of people interested in permaculture and coming to visit?
A lot of people coming to visit.
How do you spread the word?
Look, we basically on the Permaculture global website.
Okay.
So a lot of people have seen us on the global website and come through. We've actually also had, and on our WhatsApp groups that we've actually had a whole Dutch tour come through. Yeah, I thought it was going to be 4 people, and then when they arrived, it was a whole bus full of Dutch people that had pitched up here.
So
they couldn't even bring the bus in there to stand the bus on the top of the road.
How cool is that?
That was very cool.
Just for interest sake, what's the address of the website?
It's global www.globalpermaculture.org.
Ah, cool.
.org website. Jeff Lawton's website.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
So very cool.
All right, you did your PDA with.
I did my PDC with Jeff
PDC
Lawton,
with Jeff Lawton.
2012, and then I did another one just to get motivation in life again.
Yes.
In 2022 in East London, live with Jeff, and that was.
I must imagine that must be something fantastic.
Cool. Very cool person that.
Show us some living things.
So Lissa, for us, soil is king at the moment.
Right.
Let's
come
that to your shirt.
Okay.
Make him even more sexy. Make all that.
We've been driving past all these huge compost piles.
Yeah. So these guys started recently with their compost piles. We've been busy for quite a bit.
Sorry.
Careful, my net. Yeah. Okay. So we actually blessed to have horse stables right opposite us. So we use all the horse bedding, but I'll show you where that goes now. Because the journey starts there. Little Ben.
Can I go look at the chicken?
Yeah, there's a jumping castle for you guys as well. That jump. Yeah, sorry, we've got a lot of projects going on, so you guys must just check where you're walking, because there might be holes and things lying around still.
This is incredible.
So this is Ezra's little potato project, but it didn't work out as we wanted it to work out. We're struggling a bit with potatoes out here.
Why do you think that is?
We've got a pest, Tuta absoluta, down here at the coast. It's a little worm that they call it the leaf miner. So it mines under the leaves of the Solancae family.
Okay.
And totally destroys tomatoes as well. Yeah. So
little bastards, eh?
So tomatoes and potatoes. Yeah, we battle with those.
One of the big seed companies, I had a meeting with them, and they said if you're not going to spray, those things are going to definitely.
Yeah. So just mind your heads. Yep.
Do the people bring the horsemen here to you, or do you go and fetch it? How does it?
Yeah, we had 1 year where they were gonna throw away. So I've tried to teach my neighbors how to compost.
Yeah.
But to them, it's a total waste of
resources.
It's a waste. Yes, they don't look into that.
Well, it works out well for you, right?
Yeah, so it's another man's trash is another man's treasure, is what they say. So the 1 year they were gonna throw the stuff away at the dump site, but she called me luckily because she knows I go and pick up the stuff normally. I used to do it to the bakkie, manual loading with guys, and then she said no, she's gonna throw away the stuff now. Do I want to make a plan to get it in? So we called Refuge Solutions, and they came in with a front end loader and a tipper truck. It took them about a day and a half to drive everything in here. So we're working through this slowly now. The only challenge we have with it is it's got a lot of sand in it.
I just quickly want to pause the video.
Yeah.
Sound check. Don't sound as bad as you look.
Yeah, the wind here, the east weather's been blowing us away. So the challenge that we've got with this stuff is it's very sandy.
Okay.
Because they put sand in the horse stables.
Sand bedding.
Yeah, sand bedding in the horse stables, and then so all that sand mixes into the horse bedding.
The carrots would love to grow on there.
And how much?
Yeah, we actually struggle with carrots. Which
Salt do you get in that?
Say again?
Salt.
The salt content, I'm not 100% sure, but it's not high. I think she brings in sand from somewhere, probably from the river or something.
Okay.
So it's actually good sand, but for composting it doesn't work so lekker.
You need more green.
Yeah. So basically what Johannes then does is every day he'll sift out with this sift.
Okay.
He'll sift out 3 wheelbarrows
Okay.
of horse manure and bedding only.
Okay.
And then the sand, we've got a big pile that we store the sand at the back there.
Awesome.
Then the horse bedding that he takes out from sifting, we then move into the chicken coop.
So you've got the roosters as well.
Yeah.
Lemon brown.
Yeah, we've got Lohman Browns as the egg layers, but we actually want to breed Lohman Browns. So we started with Rhode Island Reds.
Okay.
They part of the breeding stock for Lohman Browns, but then you need a white laying hen as well.
Okay.
So we've got Lohman Browns, we've got the Rhode Island Reds, and then we've got some Boschvelders that we got recently, and then we like the Buff Orpingtons because we like to do things as natural as we can.
Yeah.
So we were thinking of getting incubators, but the chicken is a good incubator in itself. Ole pipi.
Ja.
Hy kan op 'n boompie pipi enige plek, ja.
Boompie daar in die tuin.
Ja.
Hardloop gaan kry boom.
Die bome, the trees like the nutrients as well.
So we are definitely in the market for a rooster that would fit the red hens.
Okay. So
We're coming back end of the month. So if you can breed one again for us quickly, then that would be nice.
No problem.
but you must remember the Lohman Brown is a hybrid chicken, eh? So if you breeding, so we don't have Lohman Brown roosters per se. We've just got the Rhode Island Red roosters, and so it's a Rhode Island Red rooster on a white Leghorn hen. Gives you Lohman Brown, yeah.
Okay, so but you put the rooster directly on the Lohman Browns.
No. These guys are just here for protection at the moment, so we don't breed with them. We've actually got a separate breeding.
What happens if you breed with them like the way they are now?
They'll probably
Just
make babies, yeah. So it should still be fine. We won't get Lohman Browns though, but they'll still be good.
But you know that most lemon browns that come into Namibia are infertile.
I've heard that, yeah.
They what?
Infertile.
Is it? That's so
you
could
might
be.
get 1 or 2
Yeah,
babies, but from a lemon brown, the chances of getting a baby is
it's small.
very, very
Okay,
this is a
okay,
kind
that's
of
interesting.
basil.
Yeah, this is the one that Brendo is growing in that little one that he's got on his videos.
Okay.
That's the Tulsi.
Okay.
That
I
one,
see that
solely
it's
basil.
much longer than ours.
Yeah. So this one is a perennial basil. It grows for more than 5 years.
Okay.
I find them. Okay, I've only been here for 6 years, so the ones that I've had in have grown for about 5 years, and
So
then.
Brenda, you'll need to up your game. Next week, this is what we're expecting from you, basil. And
So-
then that's what's that below?
Then we've got some oregano and some thyme. So the 3 herbs together are actually good for bronchitis issues on the chickens.
Okay.
So if your chickens have issues with their chest and so on and breathing, you normally make a tea with these 3 herbs, and you can add some sage for bacteria as well.
Into the water. Give them that to drink.
But they eat it. If you check on the side here, they basically self-medicate, so they eat it. So that's the idea, yeah. So they self-medicate through the fence. When they need it, they go on it. But yeah, when we do have problems, we make a big batch of tea and give it to them like that. Okay. Yes, all the chickens. Yeah, that's a lavender. So,
this is so impressive.
which one?
The lavender.
No, actually that one was a gift. Somebody had it as a pet in their house when it was a chick, and obviously chickens poop. So, so it was pooping in the kids' beds, and then the lady gave it to us. So we're actually lucky we got a free lavender Orpington, and our golden, our rooster was also one of the gifts that lady gave us. Yeah, so those are the buff Orpingtons. So that's basically the system we've got. The chicken coop is designed for 250 chickens to be on the American free range standard, if we can put it that way. So the coop plus the runs that we've got.
How many chickens do you have in here?
At the moment we're sitting with about 100, so just under 100, I think about 95 chickens about.
And what is your laying percentage?
We currently is winter, so the numbers have dropped. We're getting about, let's say 50% on the ends, yeah. So about, a bit less than 50 actually at the moment with the winter that's here.
Okay.
But we're waiting for 50 new Lomond Browns that are supposed to come in. They were actually supposed to come in last week, so they were actually arrived in Windhoek.
Harvesting the older chickens and get them sold.
Yes, so that's the idea. We harvest the other chickens for meat, and we use that in the house for now.
Okay.
But we have sold to the workers around here on the properties as well, just for their food intake. So
50% becomes a little bit low.
Yeah. No, we don't make any profit from the eggs sales per se.
Yeah.
The goal of the chickens, as I said in the beginning, is soil production.
Okay.
So their main goal is just to add nitrogen to the compost that we're getting, or to the horse manure that we're getting. So they manure the bedding at night. Johannes adds his layers. So once every month we come in with Bluey, our little multi one, and then we clean out the compost.
Awesome. And your machine fits in here?
We built it so that the machine could fit in here. This coop was also donated, I must not mention that as well, was donated by the Environmental Investment Fund.
Okay.
And I think it was the Japan government that sponsored the money at that time. So half of the money came from the Japanese government to build this coop actually. So
that's quite nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we're still working on getting to a profitable state with the system.
Yeah.
But we need to fill up the ends, so to 250 to get to that profitability. And then hopefully we'll start getting some compost sales through the system as well. So we still need to build a few more roosts for them. So the whole thing should be full of roosts. And then once we fill it up, we add roosts as we get more chickens. So that's the idea.
And did you see these are hinged, so they fold flat when he needs to move them?
Yeah. So we just chuck them against the wall, bring the machine in, and then we take the machine. I'll show you this side where we take it to.
I'm not sure if you can do it here, but have you ever thought of adding water to that pile so that it breathes more life? Are you scared of flies?
No, we actually, Johannes wets it down. So because it becomes, the dust also becomes a problem for the chickens' breathing system, the respiratory system. Okay. So Johannes wets it down. When he throws his 3 wheelbarrows in, he wets it down. So that stuff is already busy composting as it is there. And that's actually the higher quality stuff. So the piles that we've got in here, we're actually trying to clear space here for our breeding pens. We need to build breeding pens over here. So the piles that are in here currently come straight from the horse bedding. So it's very sandy piles that we've got. But the idea of the system is eventually, once we've got the fence set up in the middle, we've got a 2-run system. Okay. So we can then allow the chickens to be in either side of the fence. I understand. Okay, so we make compost on the one side, and then we'll be growing their food on the other side, and a little bit of our crops like maize, mango, pearl millet is mango, sorry, sorghum, probably pumpkins and sweet potatoes like you had also at your thing. So on the one side, and then once we harvest that side, we move the chickens into that side, and then make the compost on that side, and then we grow on the other side where they now fertilized and cleaned up the area from bugs and pests. So that's the general idea of how the system should swing. And then we've got all along the fences, we plant the basil and the herbs for their own medication. And then what we're trying now as well is, we see the sweet potatoes are actually growing quite well out here by us, for this variety of sweet potato. Okay. So what we're trying now is to check if we plant the sweet potatoes on the fence as well, when it starts running into the fence, if the chickens are going to start taking a liking to that as well, to get an extra bit of feed on that. So for us, feed is the biggest cost at the moment for the chickens.
It's a hell of an expense.
So
how about Lucina?
Lucina, they eat it quite well, but we need to manage. So the idea is as well to have, you see we've got a little Lucina already coming up there.
Oh, I see this one there.
Yeah, so the idea is to have Lucinas grow over the fence as well. We want the goat in here as well one day. So the Lucina will be goat feed, and then we're going to try the moringas, don't do too well, yeah? Okay. Then we're going to try other species as well, just to get a few trees in, and have trees on the fence line on that side. Mulberries as well will also do good. Is also, yeah. So it's part of the system that we want.
I would love mulberries.
Yep. So then the compost that we get from here, from those piles, is basically what we're moving into our market garden at the moment. Okay. So the market garden is in development. So the soil is still building and getting to.
It really looks wonderful. I can't wait to get in there.
Yeah. So it looks very green, but yeah, it's east weather time. So so you guys chose. Yeah. So the timing is not so 100% lekker. But yeah, it still looks good.
This soil will be very nutritional. Lots of organic matter. If you measure this against that.
Yeah, definitely. That's already an improvement.
It's a huge improvement.
Okay. And they are pest control.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so rats, we had a big issue with rats, but once we got the cats, the rats are out of the system.
I like the boxes where you can harvest the eggs from the outside as well.
Oh yeah, so that just makes it easier for us. Yeah, makes life easier for us to
So we are thinking of building a chicken city. I don't know. Oh, sorry,
yeah, there's
sorry
one.
Lady, we chased her off. She just laid an egg and we chased her off. And that's one of the things we really want in the chicken city, is to be able to harvest.
Yeah. I think the only improvement I would make to now on that system is to put a rollaway box in, because what we find sometimes the chickens poop in the nest boxes, and then when we get eggs, we spend a lot of time cleaning eggs. So if you've got a rollaway box where the eggs can roll away, would actually improve the system a little bit as well.
So they drop the eggs and
the eggs roll away. Yeah. You get systems, or you can build one yourself as well. We're gonna upgrade this one. I don't know when, but yeah, one day. Okay, then part of compost for us, we do compost toilets here.
Oh, okay.
So because water is scarce, and I mean pooping in your own drinking water doesn't make sense. Yeah, don't put your hands in there, boy.
It's nasty.
Yeah, that's not a lekker pile, that one. So how our compost toilets works, we've got compost toilets in the house. Okay. So we've got 2 trap doors where we remove buckets from. So we basically poop in a bucket in the house. Okay. And then every 3rd day or so, we've got a full bucket.
You've got a worm check, and then you.
And
Do you use a urine diverter?
We've got a urine diverter as well. I'll show you how it looks inside. Because the one toilet in our room does not have a urine diverter, but the guest toilet has a urine diverter, because we find urine mixing into the system. That's where the smells come from.
Very strong, yeah.
The rest, you don't even know that you're on. It actually smells better than a normal toilet when you're in there. Or the compost toilet, it smells nice and earthy and fresh. So how the system?
It's gonna take some time to convert me into a compost toilet, man.
It's not everyone's cup of tea.
We've been there, and that's my idea of an earthen toilet, and it's not happening.
Yeah, no, I'll show you mine now then. It might change your mind.
It might just convert me.
So how the system works is, so the buckets come out. We've got a 2-bin system. This one has been sitting now, and you see how the level has dropped already.
Yes.
We've locked it down now it's probably been 4 months now.
Okay.
So once that one is full, it takes about 6 months to fill the system.
Okay.
So once that one is full, we then empty this one, and we don't, just because of that mindset again of its human manure, we don't use it in our market garden. Okay. We use it on our tree systems around the property. Okay. Just for that, because if people hear that they've got human manure on there, then they're not going to buy our produce. So, so we only use it on our tree systems, and then the cycle just continues. So once one is full, it takes about 6 months. We can speed it up by filling it up a bit faster with horse manure. Okay. But yeah, we let it run as it is. So 6 months is good. Gives us a bit of fertility boost on the trees every 6 months. So.
How long have you been here now?
We've been here for 6 years.
Okay.
And the condition for me building this bloody brick house was I want the compost toilet in my in my house. Yeah. So that was part of the deal.
Part of the design.
Yeah. Okay, but
did you try rammed earth here?
we haven't tried it ourselves. But if you look at the fort over there, with the red gate.
Yes.
That's Johannes Haasbroek. He's actually does fungi mushrooms.
Okay.
So he grows some oyster mushrooms. His walls are done with rammed earth.
Rammed earth.
And he actually got approval from the municipality for his building.
Okay.
Because our area is in the municipal land, so we need to stick to the municipal regulations. Because I wanted to originally build straw bale house. Then they didn't want me to do that. Then I wanted to do a wooden, those recycled wood.
Yes.
Then they didn't want me to do that. So eventually we started running out of money in town because we were renting.
Yes.
And we were paying for the property. So we had to make a decision, and yeah, that's what we're sitting with now, with a big bond to pay off.
Yeah.
And a good house. We're happy with the house. We had a bit of issues with it because obviously if you're going for a cheaper builder, you get a lot of problems. So we've had 5 years of problems just on the house. And I think,
So the municipality let you put in composting toilets?
No. But the municipality knows about them, so it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, but they are still very. There is in the regulations, there is provision for compost toilets actually. So ours does conform to the municipal regulations, per se, because we are in what they would deem a rural area. Even though we're in the municipal area, we are allowed to do. They call it black systems. So yeah, we try to stick, but they are not. It's not on the plan. Okay. Then hand in hand with the water that we're saving from the compost toilet, we've been struggling with this system, but this is our reed bed, grey water reed bed system that we want to recycle our shower water through. We built this thing in a bit of a rush. We had some volunteers actually during COVID time. Towards the end of COVID, there were some street guys that we were looking after in town, and we had them out here, and they actually did the flooring and stuff for us, but we didn't have reinforcement in and so on, so the cracks and stuff was too big, so it was leaking. But with donations from the guys that we've been getting, we were able to buy a liner now, so hopefully by the end of this month, the system will be operational and running. So that's just to recycle our shower water and get that into the system as well. Because for us in the desert here, water is king.
Yeah, definitely.
Water is critical.
Yeah, I had Daniel, or Daniel, I'm not sure how you pronounce
Daniel.
it. She's got one of those guys still working for her, and it seems
Yes,
like
Marshall, yeah.
she...
Jason! 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 Jou stoutkat.
I think that project at least changed one guy's life for.
Yeah. They started off as 16 guys, yeah. So
if you have one guy whose life is changed, and 16,
yeah, definitely.
Out of 16, it's not a perfect hit rate, but it's still better than
100%.
16 guys on the street.
100%. Okay, then.
My favorite tree?
Yeah, your favorite tree. This one I actually cut 3 months or 2 months, 3 months ago.
Incredible.
And the growth on it now.
I can't wait for this on my property. This is just
So this is a wonderful tree.
Yeah.
We're actually struggling with, as by you guys, your moringas are growing quite well. We actually struggle with the moringa.
With you, eh?
Is it?
Yeah, we have the same problem with moringas. They die back completely in the winter. Yeah, and they grow up from the roots in only a couple of years, and then they die completely. So you have to keep on replanting them.
Okay.
But I mean, it's still a wonderful tree.
Yeah. That's great, yeah.
So,
Okay, so this section is our kitchen garden now. Basically, in permaculture, we talk about zones. Okay, so we had a zone 1 that included our market garden, but that was a lot of work for us to manage. So that's actually part of the reason why I went to that PDC with Jeff Lawton. We were actually supposed to have a discussion with Jeff Lawton, and then it turned into a PDC eventually because of COVID and wara. But the one question that I had to him was, look, I'm not enjoying what I'm doing anymore. Permaculture, is it really worth it all? And he said something very critical to me. He said, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then it just means you've got your design wrong.
yeah.
So that made us think, look, we need to make our zone 1 a bit smaller because we're putting too much energy trying to get things. So what we've come up with is just the kitchen garden now.
Okay.
So this garden is basically where we get our herbs and leafy stuff now for the kitchen.
Okay.
And then we're trying to get the starchy stuff now out into zone 2 and zone 3. And it's actually not looking too good at the moment with the east weather.
Yeah.
But we get quite a bit of harvest out of this little piece of garden in itself.
I'm shocked that you have celery growing.
Yeah, why?
I wouldn't think it would grow because that's been in the ground for a while.
Yeah.
And it's hot here.
Yeah.
And celery doesn't really like hot.
And this celery has actually also got a story. When we rented in town about 8 years ago, we bought the celery in the shop. It was a whole celery stick, and we rooted that one in water. And since we rooted that one, it's been putting out little pups ever since.
So it's an 8-year-old celery.
So it's an 8-year-old celery basically. And somebody made a comment on my YouTube channel the other day as well. They've never heard of a perennial. I never thought about it like that as a perennial celery.
Because when I've ever grown them, they go to seed.
Yeah. And they go to seed quite quick, but then you've got a lot of pups already, and we just plant them all over the place, and they continue going.
So every day. That's so cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, and then we've got a few exotic stuff in there as well, like this Cuban oregano, something that I also only got probably about a year ago.
Well, I'm gonna steal some of this.
A lekker thing. It doesn't taste so good if you eat it like that, but in the food and feed for the chickens, it does the same thing as the normal oregano.
Let's talk about this quickly because I've been giving this so many different names that half of it was lies.
Amaranth.
Okay.
Amaranthus, I'm not sure the scientific name, you can look it up.
But this is amaranth that people normally eat.
This is the one that normally gets eaten, but you get different types of amaranth.
So I think we've got a wild variety.
Yeah, there's the one that the Oshivambu people eat.
Yeah.
That one is a bit shorter, and the seed heads are a bit harder, so it feels almost like full papierdorings.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the one that the Oshivambu people eat, but it's also amaranth. Yeah. And then this one is the one that grows tall and massive. It's supposed to be a grain, but I'm not sure how we're gonna process that into
bread or something.
Into bread or something.
Amaranth cookie. You need hectares and hectares full of it.
Yeah.
But this is nice for the chickens.
Yeah, no, the chickens love it. The chickens love it. So these were actually volunteers that came up here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, but the plan is to have that also in there.
But in order
in
for
their
them
feed system.
to volunteer, there must have been a seed, yeah?
Yeah, I actually got seeds from Windhoek.
Okay.
So when I drive I'm like one of those crazy people. When I see something, I'm like, ooh, and I need to stop the car.
One of those crazy people.
Oh, you also do that?
Yeah, I bought her a pair of clippers to keep in her car.
They cut things and
we emptied the township. We went stealing plants from the
We have to
township.
dress like
yeah, that's how I also go when I'm driving around. I'm always checking in people's yards and oh, that flower looks nice. Like, okay.
Well,
I hope you don't get dumped,
crime
but
pays, but botany doesn't.
yeah. So this actually came from Windhoek. In the riverways in Windhoek, they grow all over the place. So
Does your papayas die back in the winter? Do you get any frost?
we don't get frost out here, so our papayas go throughout the year.
And you've got bananas.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am so jealous.
So
You're gonna do fine with bananas. You just have to find them in the right
place, yeah. So our banana circle actually runs off our washing machine mainly.
Okay.
So the washing machine water comes out here, and then we've got like a octagon. If you look, you see the little palikis inside there. There's a pipe corner. There's a pipe corner at each little pole. Okay, these ones overgrew that pole a little bit, so I need to reset them again probably because they lift the pipes up.
Yeah.
But the shower or the washing machine water basically feeds the inside, and then we'll just wet the outside once a week or so.
With your sweet potatoes, have you had any harvest?
We've had many harvests over the years that we've been here.
Okay.
It's just this year for some reason my sweet potatoes are not rooting. Okay. They're not setting out bulbs. We actually last Sunday for the food challenge had a little sweet potatoes that we took out, which was quite disappointing.
I've had the same problem with sweet potatoes.
So you won for the
baby.
Yeah.
So I was only in that house for 2 years, but I could never. I had like a huge forest floor full of
the leaves and
leaves, but no.
But you never got fruit. No, we used to harvest massive boys, but it's just this year for some reason I'm not 100% sure what's happening. They don't want to set, and they've been in now for more than 6 months, this batch, and we haven't got nice big balls yet.
This is the same battle.
Yeah, this is the same one.
You have the shiny type.
I don't have a shiny
I think
type.
I need to
I
send
don't
you
have a
some of
shiny
those.
type. Yeah, that'll be like a.
You get really good pollination having that base.
Yeah. The bees love this stuff. I don't know where they come from here in the desert, but my garden is full of bees every single day. Even when it's east wind time, then the bees aren't around, but most of the year the bees are full on in the garden. So yeah, so that helps a lot.
So you chose to plant the garden here because then the house
blocks the wind. Yeah,
wind.
that's the idea. The east wind is not our worst wind, but when it does come, it does wreak quite a bit of havoc on the garden. We actually lost our roof the 1 year, so that's why I said we had a bit of cheap builders. And the roof, we had the market garden was actually a whole shade structure, and the roof fell on that and took that out probably about 100 meters. There's a container in the field out there, took it all the way to there. So, so yeah, fun and games. We were actually home that day because my boss said we saw the wind speed predictions for the day. My boss told me, no, everybody stay home. Nobody drives for this period. And then Undergrid also stayed home, and we had Undergrid's cousins, kids living with us at that time. And I'm sitting in the house and I just hear guguk. I'm like, okay, just hold please. Guguk. And then Undergrid's little cousin says, do you guys hear that sound? I'm like, don't say anything. don't talk too loud. Then Undergrid's like, yeah, do you hear that? And I'm like, I can hear it, but I can't do anything about it. And as soon as I said that, the whole roof just opened up on top of us. So but yeah, it's life lessons.
So you're using society garlic as a, I mean, that's what we call it. Ornamental garlic.
It's an ornamental. We use it in our food as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wild garlic.
I know the flowers are edible, right?
Yeah, we eat the leaves as well in our food. It's got a bit of an overpowering taste. So we'll normally, if we make a stew or whatever, we'll put probably about like that in a pot of stew, just to give it a bit of flavor.
Don't know. You should get a picture of the stem on this celery.
Yeah.
trunk.
Celery trunk.
So this is a
It's a perennial celery.
perennial celery. That's awesome.
This one too.
I love the amount of zucchinis.
Yeah, the Lucinas come up everywhere. I actually pull out Lucinas here as weeds.
Don't do that. You just have to, you've got a goat deficiency.
Yeah.
You need more sheep or more goats.
And then this one is also something that I'm trying now. It's galangal or something like that. It's
Like
a family of ginger, yeah. And it's actually doing quite well because the ginger doesn't really grow here by us.
It's also a nice looking plant.
Yeah. And it had a nice flower
Usually have
as
that
well.
in your, as a flower in your garden.
Yeah.
And do you then use it like you would use?
Use ginger, yeah, in your food, yeah. So it's just a cousin of
They
ginger.
use it in Thai cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a geranium.
Yeah, that's geranium, so rose-scented geranium. But mine doesn't want to flower.
Doesn't want to flower.
It doesn't want to flower. It flowers, or I've seen them, I've got a few bushes around. I've seen them flower probably twice, but then it's like a flower here, flower there, flower there. And the flowers are so
So
beautiful.
maybe it's too much nitrogen. That's putting
Potentially.
everything into the leaves and
Instead of
not feeling like it needs to propagate. And
potentially, because the horse manure is actually quite high in nitrogen.
yeah, because when I
And the
grow
chicken.
this, I grow it like in decomposed granite with very little nutrition.
Sure. Okay, yeah, then it's definitely too much nitrogen for it.
Yeah, this plant's huge.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about this.
This is curry bush. We are not 100% sure if it's edible though.
It is. I've just eaten it. So
We'll just monitor it now.
we'll know in the next 2 hours whether it's
So
edible or not.
some people say it's edible, some people say it's not.
I've had quite a bit, and it's not bad.
But the people that say it's edible, they put it in their salads,
Okay.
and it's actually got a very nice
Very interesting smell.
curry smell. Yeah,
I could smell it when he picked it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very nice.
So
But
it
we
really,
also
it really smells like real curry.
yeah.
So that's
So very
interesting.
nice.
Maybe the YouTube experts can tell us, because they normally know way more than I do.
Exactly.
And they can tell us whether I would die in the next hour. If somebody said I'm gonna die, they're very
One day.
My wife says that to me on a daily basis, like, dude, you're putting everything in your mouth is not a great idea. But that's
Just
how
eating
I learn.
everything.
I'm still on the toddler level of learning.
Yeah. Then something out of the ordinary for the desert, sugarcane.
Okay, awesome. I just
we-
received some from Henk, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah. So
Or was it from?
no, it was from Hank. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was probably from Hank.
yeah.
Yeah, so we, as part of the food challenge, we not allowed to use any sugar. So I can't go without sugar. So I planted some sugarcane.
What food challenge?
We're doing a challenge where once we actually aiming in 3 years time to eat totally out of the garden. When we talk about garden, we're talking about our zone 1 in social terms. So zone 1 being our Swakopmund, Walfish Bay area. We want to eat just out of that, of zone 1.
The challenge is for Swakopmund area.
For Swakopmund, Walfish Bay, and maybe Omaruru, which is still part of the Irongo
and if
region.
you say we,
Talking about the family, me,
Yeah.
myself, Annegret, Ezra, and Janishel,
okay.
all in on the challenge.
Okay.
So currently we're doing 1 day a week
Who are you challenging?
ourselves.
Okay.
So we're challenging ourselves to eat 1 day out of the week just from the garden,
Awesome.
basically.
That's fantastic.
So and then we barter with the community, and it's actually to try and get that circular economy going within the Swakopmund community
Yeah.
is what we're trying to
But currently
promote.
for us, I think we'd have eggs and beans.
Yeah, and
some
pumpkins.
Yeah, and pumpkins.
So it's all resources that you can barter with. So sugar is something that
Spinach. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Spinach for those. Doing great with the spinach.
yeah.
But it's an awesome challenge to set to yourself.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's what we want to do as permaculturalists, is live from the land. We realize we've been doing it now for 6 years, but somewhere you need to start putting a foot down and saying, okay, let's really do it, you know.
Let's lean into that.
Yeah, let's lean into it and actually push yourself to get to that point where you're living from the land, because that's at the end of the day what we want to do. And is it achievable is the question that we still need to answer ourselves, especially for...
If you lean into it, you sort of pick up challenges. Listen, I really need sugar.
Exactly.
This is what
exactly.
I want.
So do you juice it?
Yeah, we haven't harvested yet. We had a few harvests long time, but that was before the challenge. But yeah, we normally juice it and then use that as the sweetener.
Is that your
the
shade
system.
house that blew down?
Yeah, that's part of the shade house that blew down.
Well, at least you still have it.
Yeah. So we're gonna try and repurpose that now for fog harvesting. Because that's one of the biggest water resources that we get out here in the desert is fog. We get probably
it's already paid for.
Exactly.
What's the plan? Just put it up on the...
Put it up on a westerly, actually northwest brings most of the moisture.
Okay.
So put it up on a northwest direction.
Everywhere
and
where
then,
you need water.
Yeah, where we need water basically on the tree system. So I want to show you that quickly.
Will you be able to harvest that somehow, or to measure that somehow, or?
Initially we'll be measuring just to check what we're getting.
Yes.
But eventually we want it to be such that it will be watering the system on its own.
I'm just going to be on your other side for the camera.
For the sun.
Somebody said, I aged 10 years, I don't want them to think the same about you. I'm going to be...
No, the best side.
Just give me the best side.
So the idea is...
Taste this. I assume this is salt.
This is salt bush, yeah. Okay. So this is Beshy's salt bush.
Oh, this is wonderful. We can taste it. It's salt.
The lekker. Peru. So the idea is...
But the aftertaste hits you like a little truck. Eh? Okay, so don't eat it, lick it.
So the idea is we've got southwesterly winds is actually our predominant wind, but the one that brings most of the moisture is actually the one that's coming from the northwest. So the idea is to put up fog nets, let them feed the salt bush, so we don't have to give the salt bush water, and then the salt bush grows. That will also harvest moisture out of the air eventually, and then we'll be moving the system along and then putting the productive stuff in behind that. So that's the general idea that we've got at the moment.
No, man,
it gets better after, after a while.
It really tastes nice in the beginning until your children taste it, and then you can stop pretending it's nice.
And then the overall idea will be to have fog nets on the higher point of the property.
Okay.
That will be now for main water collection, for drinking water for us. So
and do you believe that you'll be able to
I believe we should be able to get enough. If we put it up correctly, I believe we should have enough for drinking at least.
That would be wonderful. Okay.
So with...
And so here you've got a salt line, and then you've got a mulberry line.
Yep, for the garden, because we now have to adapt our strategy.
Yes.
So this where the mulberry line was basically the end of our shade house. Yeah. And with the shade house that left us, that's actually the container where it blew to now. That container at the back there. So
that's not 100.
Yeah, it's pretty far. So our roof was lying there. So this was the shade house area. Now with the shade house gone, we find it difficult in the garden to grow things. So we need shade, so that's why you see we're planting a lot of trees. We've got chiamansa, we've got the pawpaws in, we've got something from Hanyo, I can't remember the name now, but it's a legume tree that also puts a nice canopy on, just to put shade on the system.
Yes.
And then we've got the mulberries on the side with the salt bush, and then we'll have a lot of other stuff in between as well, to create the windbreak. Because the southwesterly is the one that actually destroys gardens in Soko.
Oh, really?
It brings a lot of salt from the sea actually into the system, and that's what we want.
What was the density of your net?
That was, we had on the side we had a 60%, and the top we had 40%.
Would it be worth your while to put the 60% up as your first initial?
Could potentially. Could potentially. I think we still have a roll actually in the garage, and there's still some of that left as well. Yeah. So we'll check we'll compare the two and see which one gives us more water. But I think what might potentially work, because if you look at the fog nets that are commercially for sale.
Yeah.
They made them like a 3D type shape, and they're very thick, but they don't sell them to us lay people. They only sell them to NGOs and government organizations and stuff. So,
that's so crazy. I can't.
And the price of them is, I think, for a square meter piece, test piece, you're gonna pay a good 6,000 to 9,000 bucks with poles just for a square meter piece.
Just a test.
Just to test, just a test piece. So I think if I take 40% shade net and double up or triple up on 40% shade net to get a bit of width on it, I might get a similar, probably not as efficient as that system,
but I mean,
but a similar effect.
Probably much more efficient.
Yeah, so in the garden itself, east weather time doesn't look too good. But things are growing. We've got enough to eat at least.
Well, it's winter.
Yeah. It's actually we take it as our winter season. Yeah. So things drop. You need to, by this time you should have already had enough harvest to carry you through this east weather time. Yeah. But what I wanted to show you is this variety of mulberry that I got. I think I gave you one as well. Yeah. It grows straight, so it's almost like the willow trees. So the idea is similar like the willow. So you see now the thorns on to prick. Similar like the willow trees, to actually do like a espalier fence with it, and then mulberries and grapes go together. So plant grapes, then to trellis on the mulberries.
Fantastic. And tell me, when you do this, do you scar them first, or do you just tie them together?
I scar them in the middle a little bit, just so that they can start intertwining with each other. Yeah.
So if they're touching the ground, are they going to root?
No, they might potentially. The mulberry actually roots very easily. So these ones are all from cuttings. I got one mulberry tree from Annegrit's cousin a few years ago, and this is all the product of that one mulberry tree.
Well, this is fantastic. This would hold out the horse if you
if it starts growing nice. Then
you can do a horse. Obviously, I think they might chew it. If they if they learn that it tastes nice, then you have a problem. Well, that's a big problem with living fences in general. I wanted to do like seriously densely planted lucinas, but anything that you put in there is just gonna have a ball eating your fence.
It is.
It's gonna be worse than the termites.
It is, yeah. So but the idea is to have a grapevine with if you can picture it now already, with the mulberry on the top and then grapevines on the bottom.
You've got fruit.
Yeah. It's out with the rain that we got. We actually had
Everything's out of sync.
Had a big setback on our mulberries. Actually, they got like the shock of their lives and dropped all their leaves, and now they're coming back again. And when they start growing, they normally grow with fruit. So hopefully they'll make it through next year. But they're actually very hardy, so they're very difficult to kill and easy to propagate as well. So the general idea is now to get trees almost like a syntropic agriculture or syntropic farming type system. Get tree rows with your crops and herbs in between the tree rows. So that's what we're busy putting in now. I don't know if you know the chiamansa. They call it leaf spinach. I think it comes from south. Yeah, this one, but don't eat that one. That one has got cyanide.
It's not going to be enjoyable.
Yeah, no, that one would be enjoyable. That one you need to cook. Some people say 3 times, but people say cook it for 25 minutes, pour out the water, and then you're good to go.
No, man. Why would you grow something like that?
For emergencies.
It looks really nice.
Yeah.
I definitely would have tasted it.
Yeah, don't eat that.
Why I shouldn't have poisonous plants in my garden.
Yeah. And then
I had some interesting questions I wanted to ask you. Very intelligent. Damn it.
Sorry, man.
I forgot. But just remember, it was very intelligent.
Okay. And then what I find at our place, what I don't plant grows much better than what I plant.
Okay, yes, this is the question I want. I see no weeds. Do you weed, or do they simply not come up?
The weeds don't really come up. We don't see things as weeds actually by us. We see them as pioneers.
I mean, like things that we would call weeds.
Yeah. No, it's not like by you guys. You guys have a lot of weed pressure actually on your systems, but by us the main thing we get is like these sow thistles.
Okay.
And then a few other things as well.
Okay.
But they because of the mulch layer that we've got on, and the quality of soil that we've built.
That is incredible.
The quality of soil that we've built over the years.
Check there.
Earthworm, yeah.
African nightcrawler.
Yeah. So the quality of soil and the mulch layer that you put down actually has an impact on your weeds. Remember, weeds are pioneers. So their job is to basically balance out deficiencies in your soil. So this is actually showing me that there is a deficiency in my soil. It's most likely phosphorus. That's a deficiency in my soil.
That's what this guy does.
So if there's no other weeds growing, then it means your soil is fairly good. And what we found, actually, another interesting thing about this one is it's actually an attractant to aphids. Okay. You can see the little aphids there.
Little bastard.
Yeah, so it's a trap plant. So we leave them, we don't pull them out, we leave them to trap aphids. The ladybugs also get attracted to them. Let's see if we can see a little ladybug here now. Just now. Yeah, there's none on this one.
It happens when you turn on the camera.
Yeah, then they don't.
You can be sure you're not going to find him.
So yeah, so we leave them as ladybug living and you know, aphid or food for the ladybugs basically. So that's why we leave them in, just to keep the ladybugs. And then we are busy developing this side now.
Okay.
Because
your paths are so my paths, because we've got such a big space, is the whole path and a bed. I like the smaller.
So when we design paths, we design it according to just sitting in the path, and then your garden bed, you should be able to reach to the middle of your garden bed so that you don't step in your garden bed. So that's how we design our systems. Okay. And then we do the sunken beds. These are new beds now, so you see the soil is still needs to come alive.
Yes. I see you put raw.
Horse manure on top. Yeah. So we normally leave this, and once we start watering it, we'll give it about 2 months or so, and then we'll start planting.
You don't have any termite problems. Yeah?
We've got no termites here. We've got ants. Ants is a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Because they carry those lice things around.
They like carrying lice.
Yeah, and they like eating my chocolate as well. So.
We can't have that.
And then so this system it's a different thinking now, because all these beds we try to grow on contour.
Okay.
But we find it a bit challenging to manage it, to get continuous harvests. So what we're trying here now is to have a little bit more of a control type system where we can put in the potatoes and say, okay, we've got potatoes, we put it in the 10th of December, we must harvest it now in the 10th of March, for example. Yeah. So bed 1 needs to be harvested then we know, okay, when bed 1 is ready to harvest, get the next batch of stuff ready so that you can put it in. So that's something that we struggle with, is to get that continuous growing cycle.
This would be Damien's forest.
Yeah.
And this would be
Mekon's garden. Yeah, 100%.
So I think this is there's wisdom for both.
Yep.
There's loads of wisdom for Damien's forest sort of system, or food forest sort of system. Yep. And then there's lots of wisdom in something that you can measure.
Yeah, and control a little bit. Yeah. Because the benefit of having beds that are the same size as well, when you want to, I know you were talking about putting shade net on, when you want to protect them, it's easy to protect a bed, because now you can put a little hoop just on this bed, and then you've got one size that fits all.
Talking about protecting beds with that row covers.
Yeah.
Where do you find that?
Sure. The last place that I got, Littlefoot had some, but they are a little bit small. I don't think you get the long ones. But I covered my rows with 40% shade net. Okay. I did 1 row on that side, and it worked pretty well. Okay. But for the frost, I'm not sure where you're gonna get frost sheeting from. Yeah. I'm not sure where you're gonna get that from. But yeah, that might be a good option for you to just do a hoop, because what we did, the water pipes. Yeah. And then you take a rebar. Yeah. You stick the rebar in the ground on either end, and you just put a water pipe over it.
I think our crops that we have in won't care about the frost that much. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
Winter.
Yeah.
It's more to keep the bugs out.
Yeah. Biggest issue.
Yeah, we got fruit fly problems now, so.
What is what's
this is rosemary. So this is a giant rosemary.
Yeah, it's big, eh?
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
the rosemary loves it out here, so we actually.
The rosemaries, I've got like little baby ones. I've never seen a bush this big.
Yeah. A lot of people say that when they come here.
We still have a rosemary, but it's definitely not this size. I didn't even know they grew this size.
They do, but they don't like to be planted with oregano.
Yeah.
So if you plant them
Together, they clash with each other, and they're actually nice for making hedges and stuff as well. So you can actually make beautiful hedges with the rosemary if you want as well. And we're actually propagating some now as well. So this is our propagating table. It doesn't look too healthy now because of the east weather. So we basically do our seed planting in here.
Okay.
So the same yellow plastic that you've got on Wally's greenhouse. Yes. And this is the rosemary that we propagated. Awesome. So we actually want to get that out more for as a cash crop now, because food lovers actually need rosemary, just so you know.
Do they buy from you? Would they buy from you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Food lovers. Yeah, and then these pomegranates we also propagated ourselves from cuttings, and then we've got saltbush propagating here as well. So whole propagation bed. So that's basically our cuttings bed. That we just stick all our cuttings, so when we do figs or mulberries. So this is basically what I was talking about, just a water pipe around, and then so this is what you would do on a bed like that. Yeah. And then the saltbush, you just stick them in. So we've got 3 drip lines in here. Okay. And then you stick them in at each dripper. Yeah, and this is the
saltbush is now, if it grows a little bit, then you plant it out, or would you keep it here?
No, the idea is to get it out into the system. Yeah, so that's just where we propagate our trees for the future. And then
so you have some extra chickens.
Yeah, this is our breeding system. Okay. Right, maybe we must go that way. Hey, okay. Yeah, date palms. We actually planted these from seed.
But these are like the small dates.
No, it's the big dates that we planted from seed. Some of them come from the street there, the main street in Swakopmund, but it's the little ones. But most of them are from big dates, proper dates. But the challenge, they were gonna be my overstory. Yeah. But I'm rethinking that decision now, because we've got a rhino beetle issue out here. And I try not to use pesticides, but to kill those guys only way is pesticides. We don't have.
Do you get crown rot from them?
They actually dig into the heart of the pine and eat the whole thing from the inside. Yeah. And then everything dies. And the other challenge is.
Sorry again, I didn't get on that camera, but.
And the other thing is, you grow them for so long, then you've got male and female species, male and female. It's only let's steek lekker ook. And then you've got male and female, and you only know after, like, I think some of them took 4 years to start flowering, and 90% of mine are males. Oh, so that's the other. Oh no. So that's the other challenge. The others that haven't flowered, I don't even know if they're females yet. So. Oh no. So yeah. Oh no, that's terrible. Yeah. So then this system is just basically our breeding. So this is where we keep our chickens for breeding. Okay. But we actually want to build better breeding pens. So this is just temporary for now. We actually want to.
Do you let the hens lay on the ground, or do you put them in a
broody box?
In the broody box, yeah. We've got little broody boxes that we put them in when we normally put 9 eggs under one of the buff Orpingtons. Okay. And then we put them in a little broody box to breed out, yeah. Awesome. So yeah, this is the system that we use. So we're trying to get the Boschvelders now, but yeah, it's a mix now. Yeah. So it's not up functional. We actually want to build better breeding pens where we can keep our breeding stock. And then continue breeding from there.
Predators like crows and...
Crows, not the issue. The falcons, we've got a little, they call it a pedigree falcon or something. Yeah. That one does attack chicks. Okay. So we actually repurposed the old jumping castle, trampoline. Yeah. So when the chicks are too big for the broody box, we move them into the trampoline space to grow out to a bit bigger size. Yeah. And then we get jackals out here as well, but we've dug all our fences in, so the jackals can't really get into the systems. Yeah. So
forget about the jackals. You sort of forget about jackals.
Yeah. We actually lost some ducks to jackals because the ducks were laying eggs next to the fence, and the one jackal ate the duck through the fence. Yeah. So that wasn't.
With rabbits too.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, the jackals don't bother us too much. Yeah. Then we've got the duck pen. Yeah, you see, and we've got fruit fly problems, so we're throwing. So the chickens are getting nice guavas now. Yeah. And then we've got our duck system.
Put vinegar into little things in the fruit flies.
Yeah. We actually tried that now, and I actually made a little shot now this afternoon before you guys came, and we've got some fruit flies caught in it. Yeah.
Oh, is that
Yeah. In the vinegar bottle.
That's very helpful.
I just didn't have apple cider vinegar, but if you mix some brown sugar with the normal, I use red vinegar, and then you add a little bit of dish soap just to break the water tension. And
Does that not chase the chickens?
no, they actually help the chickens with they keep the rats and things away. Otherwise the rats eat the eggs and eat the little chicks and stuff, so they're actually helping. Then the duck system, the idea of the duck system, why I put on the top side, we still need to build the pond, but the pond becomes then fertigation for the market garden basically.
Gravity feeding.
Say again?
Gravity feeding.
Yeah, gravity feed. Yeah, so use gravity as much as you can.
Yes.
Get the water down into the garden.
That's awesome.
Yep, and there's nog baie goed wat ons nog daai kant kan wys, but yeah.
Do you want it?
If you guys want to, what's the time now?
Oh, we've been busy for an hour.
Sure, you see? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, hit us.
You can show. I want to show you guys Johannes's place, man.
Yeah, man.
For Lissa, so Lissa can see where our money went. Yeah.
So this is a prosopis.
Yeah, this is prosopis. It's actually one of the trees that I'm really starting to fall in love with. It's allelopathic. So we're still checking what grows with it at the bottom. I know the garlic chives don't grow with it, I guess.
It's a forbidden love, like my love of the Lakinas, it's forbidden.
Yeah.
If you fall in love with it, you're going to be sad.
Yeah.
But maybe the dragon fruit will grow in it.
Yeah. So that's the idea.
It's forbidden because in Namibia it's like enemy number one.
Yep.
This tree.
Oh.
Yeah,
this one and this one.
Both of them. So this is my forbidden love, yeah.
And this is my one.
This is his forbidden
But this one actually took over the Swakop River. And if you go to Konikontas, you'll see them all over there, and they create the most beautiful shade.
What was in there?
That's one of the breeding boxes that we were talking about. But yeah, we had some flea problems with 3 of our chickens, so we just had them in there for a little bit. Yeah, they do have thorns.
So this is, as far as I remember, this is like Jeff Lawton's number one tree, was Jeff Lawton's number one tree in the Greening Desert project.
Yep.
And then later on he switched out to the Lakina.
To Lakinas, yes. Yeah. And then he's using now, what's that one? Not wild olive, there's another one that he's using now that's also a leguminous tree that he's using the system. But Lucana is his main support species now, yeah.
I fell in love with it before I knew Jeff Lawton liked it, but it's always been since I moved to Namibia. I didn't know it in South Africa. We had black wattle, which is all different kinds of wattle.
Yeah.
In South Africa that I really liked, and then we had blue gums. What's blue gums?
Eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus. Different kinds of eucalyptus that I really liked. And only when we moved to Namibia I found this tree.
This is a lekker tree. This is a very good tree. And the nice thing about it as well, it's got like a long taproot.
And it tastes nice.
I haven't actually eaten it.
You lying, you did taste it while you were by me. I got it on video, I've got some evidence.
And then another one that grows in Jeff Lawton's Green Desert project is this marshmallow tree. A marshmallow plant, yeah. It also just indicates compact soil.
But
it's edible, yeah.
Oh really?
But now I broke the root, but it's got also this long taproot to loosen the soil up with.
Awesome.
And it's actually a Middle Eastern cuisine. They actually use that a lot in
marshmallow tree.
Marshmallow tree, yeah. And you can make real marshmallows.
Seeds,
yeah.
When they're green, and you cook them. So, I don't know what this is.
That is sorghum actually, but it's not doing too good.
Okay.
Yeah, the east weather stunted them now a little bit.
Okay, hit me.
Then this section we're trying to do the tree system now, so it would be more a zone 3 type planting. But as I said, the palm trees are a little bit of a struggle for us at the moment.
Yeah.
So we're starting to rethink the palm tree thing and looking at more of a prosopis type.
Do you think marula would grow, yeah?
Marulas struggle. I've got one growing right there, but they don't really like the saltiness in our soil.
But that tree that you said would grow in the salt, yeah?
Oh, salt cedar.
Salt cedar.
Would it be good for an overstoring?
Well, it's a cedar, so it's used for a windbreak.
Okay. I'll look into that as a salt cedar, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be cool, yeah. So we need a new plan for overstory because I'm not going to struggle. I know the struggle is a bit long.
Loads of dates there. I wonder if we have a problem at our place as well.
I don't think you'll have a problem. I don't know what the termites will do to them, but I don't think you'll have an issue with them.
We've now started planting mint around all of our trees.
Is that?
That's a suggestion. And I'm definitely going to see if that's going to change
Okay, and
our game a little bit.
thing you mentioned, tansies. What's his name? Hank.
Yeah,
Tansies, yeah.
Tansies is the one.
The little flowers, yeah.
Fatty flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check if that works.
Some seeds.
I'm gonna try them
That
definitely
would
as
be
well.
cool.
The thing that I like about the mint is that it goes through the winter.
Yeah.
So it doesn't die off.
Yeah.
It doesn't die off during the winter. Where some of the other flowers might.
Yeah. So this thing is not what it should be yet. We still need many more layers to get it into the forest state. But because water is our biggest restraint here, we've been watering sparsely. We only water these things about once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
The fruit trees we do once a week.
Okay.
But the others we try, even some of them we try only to water them on full moon time.
Okay.
So what we found, we tried growing a lot of stuff around it, but with the watering regime that we've got, the stuff just don't make it.
Yes.
So we need to find a bit more hardy species to get in around them to get the system to actually start boosting. But
Is that a citrus tree?
yeah, that's a lemon tree. And then we've got figs, so that's a normal green fig, the one that I got from Windhoek. Then we've got a purple fig and then some mulberries. And then we've got neem in and then the date palms at the moment. And then one almond tree growing there as well. Awesome. Yeah. So it sort of works, but yeah, the palm trees.
I had a nice almond, but the termites got there.
They use a lot of water.
Yeah.
Your lemon tree's a little nitrogen deficient.
Yeah. Well, it's more. It's also iron magnesium because our pH is quite on the high side. So we normally struggle a little bit with iron and magnesium basically. Yeah. So we need to get our pH down and then and it balances out a little bit. But yeah.
Not the easiest thing to do.
Yep. Especially not without artificial stuff. It's very difficult.
It's getting colder.
Yeah. It gets chilly. Okay, maybe we just check Johannes' place quickly.
I'm gonna pause the video.
Yeah.
And then we continue.
100. Sal hulle vir jou
I
hoor?
want to give an introduction of what we're looking at.
Okay, so this is Johannes' place. Johannes is our farmhand.
Okay.
We were only able to build this, if I can put it that way. So just to put things in a good way, look, Johannes was washing inside this little structure. And with the donations that we got from the coffees, we were able to build Johannes an extra toilet onto his room.
This might be a solution for our toilets as well. I'm not a big fan of composting toilets, but I'm struggling with the municipality.
Yeah.
For sewage storage is a big.
I'll show you. I must just remind me. I need to show you the compost toilet inside. So Johannes also has a compost toilet in his place. It might be a little bit dark inside here now. I don't know if the camera.
Let's see if it
let's check if it works.
Take it out.
Okay. So his room is a bit cramped.
Thank you, Johannes.
Yeah. Sorry, Johannes. Okay.
Nice and warm inside.
Yeah. So
that's quite neat.
So that would be his compost toilet. So it's basically then just a bucket at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then he removes his bucket from there. So we still need to complete.
Yeah.
So we will also put a urine diverter in for him.
Okay.
And link that up to his shower system.
Okay, cool.
But we still need to complete the work, yeah. The funds have run out a little bit, so nog bietjie werk wat hier moet aangaan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hannes. Okay. Yeah, so Johannes does a lot for us. He's been with us for a year now.
Okay.
And yeah, we just felt it's good that we give him, he gets a really good salary.
Yeah.
And he stays for free.
Yes. He doesn't have to travel into town.
He doesn't have to travel into town every day. We give him food rations as well and his gas.
Yeah.
But we just thought he's part of our family. I mean, I wouldn't let my mother, live in conditions like that. So whatever we get, we try to put mostly into Johannes and then try to develop the place at the moment. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause again until we're at house.
Yeah. So, welcome inside.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna just get some lights for us. That's Sarah. Sarah is our cleaning lady. She stays in with us twice a week. So just to help clean.
Some camera equipment.
Yeah. And what I wanted to show you guys inside here was our design. So this was.
I just quickly want to show.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to. We don't have to go into a big thing. I just quickly want to show that.
Yeah. So that's.
He's got bigger hands than I do.
So this is Bluey. So it's our multi-one 4.2.
Okay.
We actually got it for turning the compost piles. So it fits nicely inside the chicken coop. So we took the height into consideration when we got it for the chicken coop.
We've
Yeah.
got
So
one like this, but it's called
Lucas. Okay. Just a smaller bucket. Oh yeah, maybe I'll show you guys the compost toilet first. Otherwise we forget the compost toilet. I want to convince you.
Convert me into a compost toilet using kind of guy. I think it's only permaculture people that go and do a tour of other people's toilets.
Yeah. So that's our compost toilet.
Okay.
So similar to.
Bucket.
There's a bucket, urine diverter. So number 2. Pipi goes in there.
The poof goes in the back.
And then you cover your poof with some compost. And then we only use this for water to flush our urine.
Awesome. And then did you see where they compost?
Yeah.
So would you poop in a bucket like that?
Yes.
Yes.
And the smell, how does it smell to you, Duna?
Yeah, it doesn't smell bad at all.
I don't smell anything. I just smell fresh air.
Fresh air, yeah. So yeah.
So when you have guests, you go and explain to them quickly.
Yeah. We've actually got like a little explanation for them. So while they're sitting and doing their business, they can read a lekker story.
Move to this. I like the texture of the floors.
Yeah, it's lekker.
Like a woody.
In the mind, it makes your feet feel warm as well. You good?
Lisa, I sort of hijacked your tour of Grant's property. No. By filming and.
No, sorry.
Okay.
And then this is Annagra's design that she did for her PDC.
Okay.
My design doesn't look as good as hers, but yeah, designs are not about the looks. It's about
I'm gonna turn the camera like this and just keep it above the paperwork.
Yeah, so it's about the information that's in it. So we look at all the zones that we want to do.
Did she do her PDC with you?
Yeah, she did her PDC with me. So I was her teacher.
Okay.
The student sleeps with the teacher.
Yeah, you have to get some extra points from her. How do you want to do a PDC? Just want to make plans. A man's always got to make some plans.
Yes, boy.
Is that guava?
That's guava. Do you want one? Yeah, you can have one. Just check for worms. Now, there might be some worms in them.
But you eat that and that's extra protein.
Yeah. Okay, so then we got our contour map.
Sorry, let's. We haven't.
Oh.
Okay, so.
So you normally start from the base.
Yes.
Check in the drawer.
Teeth, child.
Just there. If you go straight.
No, man.
Under. Yeah.
Hop him niet, Donna. You can eat the skin. You've got knives.
The one behind actually.
You've got some knives inside.
Yeah,
of
the
your
top
mouth.
drawer. The top drawer. Yeah.
How's that? Okay, so.
Okay, so you start with a base map. So you get a layout of your land.
Okay.
Then you need to look at the contours of your property.
Okay.
Because that shows you where water will flow.
Did you do this with a dumpy level or?
This was contour maps that we got from our municipality.
Okay.
So they actually did. It's not 100% accurate. If you're walking the land, you'll see there's a few discrepancies, but for mainframe design, this is what you need. Yeah. So you're not going to do it with the detailed designs. You'll go into dumpy levels and doing a bit more detail on that. Then you look at the energies that impact your land.
Okay.
We call that sector maps. So you look at the wind, you look at the sun, where the sun is, look at temperature, you look at the natural ecosystem that's on the property that you can work with.
Okay.
And then you take all that into consideration to design your WAS maps, or water access and structure maps. Okay.
WAS maps.
Yeah, WAS maps. So it's first water maps.
Okay.
So water maps are based on your contour maps. So you then design how you want your water to flow on your property. So we've got that where we had that disaster. This is the longest swale, is normally where Jeff Lawton would start, whereas Brad Lancaster would start at the top of the property to start collecting water.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay. So when you start implementing, Jeff would start at the longest swale, but because our house structure is above the longest swale, it doesn't make sense for us to start there. We'd rather start above our house so that we can get the water into our system at the top there. Awesome. So that's with implementation. Then you look based on the water, where are you going to put your structures? So these are all structures. We actually want to have a research center. So we've got a space where we want to build our research center. Then for the students to stay, we've got camp accommodation that we want to put up for them.
Awesome.
And then a little gathering area for them with a lapa and a swimming pool area around that area for the students. Then Annagret is a teacher at the Montessori school. Mm-hmm. So she did her final paper for studies on integrating permaculture with the Montessori system.
Oh, nice.
So she wants to put up a Montessori permaculture school on site. So that will be in that area where the horse manure is lying. Mm-hmm. We'll put up a school area because the animal systems will be close by, and interaction of the kids and the animals and so on around that system is.
That's wonderful.
What
do you think is the timeline will be for this? When do you think you'll be able to do it?
Sure, it's all finance dependent, but we're looking at probably in the next 5 years maybe to get the school going. Yes. The research center might take a little bit longer, but yeah, we've got plans for that as well. So if we can squeeze it in, we will get that going as well. So we're starting with PDCs now again. We've run one PDC, and the aim will be to run PDCs continuously to actually bring in an income for the property as well, so that we can get things going in town again. Yeah, and then once your structures are done, you look how do you access your structures. So that's how you put a permaculture design together at the end of the day. So how do you get to them? Your roads, your little walkways. Does it really work with the water that will be flowing on the land and so on? So those are the considerations that you take. And then once you've done your WAS map, you then now start looking at the species that you'd like to introduce to your property. And that would give you your mainframe design. Okay, so you do a species list, and you start putting together guilds.
So just to say to the people on the camera, this is tracing paper. That's why it looks like it's blurring, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just the camera makes it look like it's blurring, but it's sorry. Just open that again. So those are typically what it is. So there's a little key there on the side, and then those then get placed in there.
Yep.
Awesome.
Basically. So then you've got your mainframe, and that's the idea that you try to run with so this is what you want to implement at the end of the day. But obviously this is looking at the future. So we're looking for this system, because of this side of the property is basically solid rock. We're probably talking this side of the property we might not see it in our lifetime. It will probably be in the lifetime of Ezra and Yanishal's grandchildren.
The thing is, what I've seen is things explode and things go much
once
faster
they go,
than you think. I thought maybe I might have Damien's forest sort of, and now I've got a long swale, I've got 2 swales.
Yeah.
There's
So
Miko's gardens. Things go sometimes
goes
faster
quicker than
you
what you
think,
anticipate, yeah. So the implementation takes time, and that's where we're at now, busy implementing.
Before we run away, tell me, do you have a PDC for Namibians coming up anytime soon?
Yes, we've got one starting September, that last weekend of September, I think it's 29th of September. We structured it such for working people, because I'm a working person myself, so to take 2 weeks off to do a PDC is a bit of a challenge for most people. We structure it 1 weekend a month over a 7-month period, which gives you the 72 hours that you require to do a PDC.
Awesome.
We need a minimum of 8 people. The price that we put on it is very cheap compared to what a PDC would cost.
Do you want to share the price, or would you rather want people to contact you?
Yeah, they can contact me, but it's $900 for a weekend.
Okay.
Which is if you're looking at the normal day course that people run from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to be paying about 450, depending on the course, 450 to $600 for a course like that.
Yeah.
Whereas now you're getting 2 full days from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock evening, lunches, teas included, for $900 a weekend, running over 7 months.
That's fantastic, and it sort of gives you a bit of time for the information that you've gathered to
exactly
go back, and you can process it.
Yeah,
you can come back with new questions.
100% go through the information. So how it worked on the last one was actually nice, because I give a lot of extra information to the students as well, videos and stuff from Jeff Lotje, and a lot of other information. So they chew through that throughout the month. And they've normally got a lot of questions for the next session. So the stuff that I give for that session is normally related to the topics that we're discussing in the session. And they can then chew through those things, and then we discuss it on the next session and revitalize the mind and memory and get through the information like that. Yeah. So.
That's awesome. Okay. So thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, man.
That's going to be the end of our story.
Lekker, man. Thanks a million.